So next we'll start discussing about sorting algorithms or sorting methods. Uh, there are two methods we'll be discussing here to sort the elements in an array. Sorting is nothing but arranging the elements in an array. Either you can arrange it in the ascending order or a descending order. So here we'll be discussing bubble sort and selection sort. So bubble sort program we have in your lab experiment. So I'll not be discussing now. Selection sort. So moving on to the next one, selection sort. In selection sort, the smallest element is exchanged with the first element of the unsorted list of elements. So that is, the exchanged element takes the place where the smallest element is initially placed. Okay. Then the second smallest element is exchanged with the second element of the unsorted list of elements. So on, it will continue until all the elements are sorted. Okay. So we'll look into an example. So here I have taken example with the 5 elements. Okay. So I need to arrange or sort these elements of the array. You can see now the elements of the array is not sorted. It is not sorted array. Okay, we have to sort it, and see here the ultimate last answer what you get is a sorted array. So sorted array means the elements are arranged in the increasing order here. Okay, so this is the answer you're supposed to get. And to sort the array, suppose if you are having n elements, n is equal to 5 here, 5 elements, then you have to perform n minus 1 steps. Okay, here how many? 5 minus 1, 4 steps to sort the elements of the array. Okay, so here you can see I'm having 5 elements. I have performed 4 steps to sort the elements. Okay, so let's understand the program. So initially we are having the first element 20. Okay, so first element 20 will be compared with the 12. Okay, so you can find that 20 is greater than 12. Okay, if the first element is greater than the next element, okay, then we'll be exchanging those two elements. You can see here we have swapped the elements. So 20 will come here, 12 will come here. Okay, so remember the condition. If the element that you are comparing is greater than the next element, only then you have to sort. Okay, so the logic is we'll be storing the smallest element here in the first position. We are trying to store the smallest element in the first position. Next, what we are doing is the first element will be compared with the next element, that is the third element. Here you can see 12 and 10. The 10 is small and 12 is greater. So here we are having greater element, that is 12. So we want the smallest element. So what we are doing again we are exchanging the elements. 10 will come here, 12 will come here. Okay, next this first element will be compared with the next element. So 10 is here and 15 is here. So here you can see 10 is already small compared to 15. Okay, our intention is to get the smallest element in the first position, but if you see here the 10 is already small compared to 15. So that is why don't swap, don't exchange the element. Okay, if here the element is small, if your element is small compared to this element, don't swap. Next, again compare 10 with the next element 2. Now again you can see here compared to 10 and 2, 2 is small, so swap the elements and get 2 here and 10 this position. Okay, so this completes your first step because we have reached the end of the element. Okay, go to the next step. Okay, see when we end with the step 1, we can see here we have place the smallest element in the array. Which is the smallest element in the array? It is 2, correct? So 2, which is the smallest element in the array, we have placed it in the first position when we complete the step 1. Okay, so we are done with this. Okay, this part is done. We have already placed the smallest element in this first position, so don't touch that. Next, in the second step, compare the second element with the next element. So 12 and 20, you can see here 20 is greater. So if it is greater, okay, we want smallest element, so exchange it. So 12 will come here, 20 will come here. Next, compare 12 with 15. So 12 is small compared to 15, so don't swap. Next, 12 will be compared with the 10. Okay, as you can see, 10 is small, so exchange the array elements. So 10 will come here, 12 will come here. Now again, when you reach the end of step 2, you can see we have second smallest element, which is 10 in the second position. So first smallest element here and the second smallest element here. Okay, so moving on to the third step. So don't touch these two elements. So moving to the third step, we have 20 here and 15 here. So 20 and 15, 15 is small, exchange. Okay, again compare 15 with the 12. So 12 is small, exchange the array elements. Okay, so this is here, we have reached the end. You can see here, the third smallest element is placed in the third position of the array. So first smallest element is 2, second smallest element is 10, third smallest element is 12. Next, moving on to step 4, we are comparing 20 with the 15. So you can see 15 is small, so exchange the array elements. Okay, so this is your ultimate answer. So when we reach the end of step 4, we are done with the sorting the elements of the array. So you can see all the elements are sorted in the increasing order: 2, 10, 12, 15 and 20. So this is a program, okay, for we are swapping the array elements using a temporary variable. Okay, this is your declaration of the array. So first enter the elements of the array. Okay, next, this is the array, enter the number of elements of the array. This is for entering the array elements, which we already discussed. Okay, now this is the logic we'll be using for sorting the array. Okay, so this part we have already discussed in class for swapping the array elements using temporary variable. Okay, we have studied how to exchange the array. We have already studied in the class how to exchange the two numbers, okay, using a temporary variable. Okay, now this is the same logic we are using for exchanging the array elements using temporary variable. We will look into this logic with an example. Now this is a sample output. We are entering 3 numbers. Enter the array elements 20, 30 and 10. So when you execute this program, the sorted array is 10, 20 and 30. So this is a logic we are using. This is example. Okay, and you can, I have pasted here the logic. Okay, so I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0. So we are taking 2 loops here. Okay, the outer loop and the inner loop. Okay, so this outer loop will be pointing to the elements of the array. Okay, so how many elements you can have? You can have maximum here. I have taken example with 3 elements, n is equal to 3. So n can take value starting from 0 till I is equal to 0. I can take the value maximum less than 3. So it can take 0, 1, 2. Okay. Next, we are taking one more loop, that is a for loop. Okay, for comparing the array elements. Okay. So you can see here, if I is pointing, okay, if I is pointing to the first element, okay, j will be having the next element. Okay, j will be having the next element, because we have to compare 6 with 4, correct? So for that purpose, I will start from 0 and j will start from I plus 1. What is I? I is 0 plus 1 means 0 plus 1, it is 1. So j will be pointing to the next element. J will be pointing to the next element. Okay. So here, let's trace the program. I is equal to 0, I less than 3. Yes, condition is true. J is equal to 0 plus 1. 1 is less than 3. So make the comparison. A of 0 is greater than A of 1. So 6 is greater than 4. Yes, condition is true. So if 6 is greater than 4, using a temporary variable, we are exchanging the value. Temp is equal to A of 0, that is 6. Okay. A of 1 is 4. So 4 will be placed in A of 0. Okay. Then temp is having 6. So 6 will be placed in A of 1. So in A of 0 we'll be having 4, and in A of 1 we'll be having 6. So we are exchanging the array elements. Okay, so you can see here, it is shown here. So you will be exchanging the array elements. So 4 will come here and 6 will come here. Okay. Next again, increment the value of j. J is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Compare A of 0. Okay. Compare A of 0. That is A of 0 is now 4. Compare with A of 2. A of 2 is what? 2. This one. So 4 will be compared with the 2. 4 is greater than 2. Yes. Condition is true. Swap these two elements. Okay. So when you swap these two elements, 2 will come here and 4 will come here. Okay. Next, increment the value of j. 3 is less than 3, condition fails. So you will come out of the j loop and you will go to the outer loop. Okay. Again, I will get become 1. 1 is less than 3. J is equal to 2. 2 is less than 3. A of 1 is greater than A of 2. So 6 will be compared with 4. Okay. So this is your step 2. 6 will be compared with 4. So 6 is greater than 4. Yes. So swap the array elements. Okay. 6 will be exchanged with 4. So 4 will come here and 6 will come here. Okay. Next, increment the value of j. J will less than 3. Condition fails. Increment the value of I. 2 is less than 3. Yes, true. J is equal to 3. 3 is less than 3. Condition fails. Come out of the loop. Increment the value of I is less than 3, condition fails, and ultimately display the array elements. So this is the logic that we are following for sorting the array using selection sort. So next we will discuss about a two-dimensional array. So two-dimensional array. So previously we have discussed about one-dimensional array. Okay. So two-dimensional array is nothing but the concept of a matrix. Okay, the concept of matrix in C. Okay, so array which store tables of values of same data type. So here also we are storing the elements of same data type, but we are storing it in a table of values. Okay, here we are using two sets of bracket. So one dimension array we have used just one bracket, but here we are using two bracket. Okay, so this is a syntax: data type, array name. So first bracket we are specifying the size of the row. So matrix will be having row and column. So this is a matrix. So matrix will be having row and it will be having columns. Okay, so first bracket we are specifying the row size, second matrix we are specifying the column size. For example, here int a comma a of 3. So a of 3 means it will be having 2 rows. Okay, something like this. This is a of 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, you can see here it is 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so maximum it can have 2 rows and 3 columns. Here a is a two-dimensional array having 2 rows and 3 columns. So here it is shown with the diagram. Okay, so this first element is nothing but a of 0 0. So 0th row, 0th column. Second element is 0th row, first column. Third one is 0th row, second column. So similarly, a of 1 0, first row, second 0th column. First row, first column. First row, second column. So next we will see how to initialize two-dimensional array. There are two ways: compile time and runtime, same as one-dimensional array. Here also initialization can happen in two ways: two-dimension compile time or during runtime. So here it is given. So basic initialization. So you can write it something like this. Okay, so we are storing 10, 20, 30 in the first row and 40, 50 and 60 in the second row. Okay, so this is one way of initialization. This is another way of initialization. Okay, so this is initialization without size. We are not specifying the number of row size. Okay, we are just specifying the column size. Okay, this is another way of initializing. While initializing a 2D array, it is necessary to mention the column size, whereas the row size is optional. Okay, so this is what you have to remember. You have to mention the column size, but row size is optional. This is partial initialization. So you can see here there are 2 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so here we are specifying only 2 elements of the first row, 1 and 2. Third one will be left 0. In the second row, that is row 1 with the index 1, we'll be specifying only 1 element. So same as one-dimension array, this also will be having the index 0, 1, 2, here 0, 1. This is runtime initialization. So for runtime initialization, that is when you are executing the program, you have to take the input from the user, okay, for the array. So for this, we are using two for loop. For one-dimension array, we have used just one for loop, but since it is a matrix, we have to use two for loops. Okay, and here we are specifying the row size and the column size. Okay, one for reading the row, another for reading the columns. Okay, so let's take an example. Okay, I will start from 0. 0 is less than 2. Yes, the condition is true. Next, j is equal to 0. J is less than 3. Yes. Okay, a of 0, 0. That is at the position. So this is for, so you are having 2 rows. Okay, so this is a size of row 2 rows, and this is the size of column 3 columns. So for taking care of column, we are using a variable j. For row, we are using a variable I. So I can have value 0 to 1. Okay, it can have value 0 or 1. That is why we are writing I can have value less than m. So m is nothing but here it is 2, and j can take value less than n. So n is nothing but your column size 3. So it can take value 0, 1, 2. Okay, so first a of 0, 0. So here you have to enter some elements. So let me enter 2 here. Okay, next j will get incremented. J will become 1. Okay, check the condition. 1 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Next, here you store in I will be I is 0, j is 1. So 0 of 0, 1. Here you have to store the element. I will store some element 4. Okay. Next again j will increment. It will become 2. 2 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Next at position a of 0, 2, that is this position, you have to enter the LA element, that is I'll enter 10. Okay. Next j will get incremented, it will become 3. 3 is less than 3, condition fails. So we'll go to the outer loop, I will become 1. Okay. Same way the loop continues and you'll be entering the array elements here. Okay, you can enter the array elements. So this is how we'll be reading the elements of the matrix or two-dimensional array. So this is a program to read and display two-dimensional array elements. Okay. So this I already discussed. So here the number of rows and columns you have to specify. Since it is a matrix, you have to specify number of rows and columns. So you can specify row is equal to 2 and column is equal to 3. You can take any number, you can take 10 and 10 or 10 or 100, it is left to you. And for reading the elements, we are using two for loops. This I already discussed. Scanf statement for reading the elements of the two-dimensional array. And printf statement is same. Printf statement, again we are using two for loops, same as scanf statement for displaying the matrix. Instead of scanf, here you are having printf, and this almost it is the same. Here using /t is to get the space between the elements. Okay, and what is the /n here? So /n is first you are be storing the array element in position a of 0, 0, that is 1, a of 0, 1, 2, a of 0, 2, you are placing 3. Next, to move on to the next line, when this inner loop fails, okay, you will come out of this loop and you'll go for the statement printf /n. So /n is just for to move to the next line. Okay, after displaying 1, 2, 3, to move to the next line, you'll be going for printf /n. So after printf /n, again the loop continues, outer loop continues. Okay, trace the program. So this is one more program to copy elements of one matrix to another matrix. This is very simple program. Okay, here we are taking two matrix. I want to copy the content of matrix A to matrix B. Okay, so first we will be entering the elements of matrix A. Okay, scanf statement, enter the matrix elements. Next, so you can see here output, you are entering the number of rows and column 2, 2. Enter the elements of matrix A. So you are entering 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how it will be stored: 1, 2, 3, 4. So at position 0, 0, you'll be having 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, you'll be having 3, 1, 1, you'll be having 4. This is your matrix. M rows and n columns both are equal to 2 rows and 2 columns. Okay. Now what you're doing is you're copying. This is a logic we are using for copying the matrix A to matrix B. Okay. Same way it continues. Okay, we are using 2 for loops. So A of 0, 0 will be copied to B of 0, 0. Okay, A of 0, 1 will be copied to B of 0, 1. So like this it will continue. And so this is a very simple logic. Okay, only this much. Okay, and this is for printing the matrix B. Okay, so printing the matrix using printf statement and print the matrix B. See, here we have not printed the matrix A. If you want, you can also print the matrix A. Okay. So this is, there are 2 more program in your notes. Write a C program to find sum of 2-dimensional array and to transpose, to find the transpose of a matrix. This I have made a video and I have uploaded in Moodle. Go through this 2 programs. Thank you.